Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello. Lakeisha McKnight is here, and we are live. Good evening to all. How's everybody doing on tonight? Welcome to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. I am your host. That's right, your leadership specialist and your wealth mentor, and I'm just glad to be here tonight. Now, of course, Facebook is gradually informing you all that we are live at this particular moment. So we're just going to gradually go into this thing, but it's time for the night show. It's about 9:13 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this cool and wet Friday here in Chesapeake, Virginia, within the US of A. I know that it's not just those of you on Facebook and not just people in Virginia, but we have people from all around the world that tunes into this particular night show. And this is a show that actually goes live every single evening around 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we may have a few people that may gradually join in. We may have some people that may catch the replay. But either way, we're going to get this information out to the masses, to the world. Even if it's just one person that listens in, I have done what I have supposed to do, right? And so I just want to welcome you. What I'm going to do before I dive into the meat of what I'm going to talk about, I'm going to actually start a watch party so that we can reach more people. More people can catch the replay of this on the Facebook platform. And so welcome for those of you who are in other countries around the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. And this is just the audio version. Remember, we just do the audio version on Friday and Saturday evenings. So again, welcome for those of you who are in the group. We're starting a watch party in the group. This is the Leadership TKO Live Night Show. Welcome aboard for those of you coming on gradually from the group as well. Lakeisha McKnight is here, your leadership specialist and your wealth mentor. If you've ever wanted a mentor to help you to build wealth, stick around because I'm definitely going to help to share some nuggets that's just going to enlighten you and help you to learn and grow. And you'll be able to implement these things, simple concepts, during the stream while we're here together. And we're not going to be here long because I do know it's a Friday evening and many of you may have some other things that you want to focus in on. I totally get it. But we still need to definitely educate ourselves and empower ourselves to build wealth. Okay, and there's a difference between getting paid, right? Because it is a Friday. Many people may have, of course, their checks that they get from their jobs, or you might have had an invoice that was fulfilled or completed from a customer. We get it. And many people, of course, they were taught that that paper with the dead presidents on it, you were taught that that was money, right? Well, stick around because I have some stuff that I want to enlighten you about. Because actually, that paper with the dead presidents on it is not money. Okay? So let's look first. Let's look first at the quote here. And this is a quote by Grant Cardone. If you don't know who Grant Cardone is, I'm going to venture to say you have not been online very much. Okay? He's a very well-known guy. He's very good when it comes to personal development, especially for entrepreneurs and leaders who truly want to build wealth. Like you want to be generating $10,000 and $20,000 a month. Grant Cardone is the one you want to connect with or at least follow. And so I do follow a lot of his work because he does put out some great content. Now, I might not be a fan of how he delivers the content, and that's a whole nother podcast, but his content is sound and it's really, really good. So here's what the quote says. It says, "What you learned about money is why you don't have it." And this was an eye-opener for me. Okay, a huge eye-opener simply because I'm like, okay, I thought I knew, very well about money until about 3.5 years ago, right? So think about this. What you learned about money as of today is why you are in your situation right now. And that's the truth. Some people are like, ooh, you're stepping on my toes, Lakeisha. Well, I mean, facts are facts. Okay. And so in order for us to really go to the next level and to really build wealth the way that we want to, we have to acknowledge where we are and just say, okay, this is not where I'm always going to be. Become educated and then move on, right? To get what we need to go. Let's look at the podcast title though. Financial education versus school education. Is one better than the other? That is the topic matter. First, let's talk about school education. Now, I'm not going to down school education because I'm school educated. I received formal education. Many people don't know. I went to Penn State University undergrad, right? I then, of course, went to Norfolk State University to get a master's degree. And I started to go to Regent University to get a doctoral degree. Many people don't know that. But I share this information, and it's not to down education. I'm a supporter of education. But here is the goal of formal education from colleges and universities. The goal for formal education like that at schools and universities is to help you become employable or help you to master a craft so that you can become a self-employed professional. That is the goal of colleges and graduate schools, so that you can become either employable, where you can get an hourly wage or a salary, or you can become what some people call a self-employed, where you master a craft and you are the one primarily operating in that craft to bring in revenue under yourself, where you are the boss. Okay? Now, Robert Kiyosaki, many of you know him as the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He created this concept of the cash flow quadrant. And with the cash flow quadrant, it's simply categorizing the ways in which people generate revenue or money. Okay? So, for example, in one quadrant, there is the people who are employed. Another quadrant is self-employed. A third quadrant is a business owner, and a fourth quadrant is for those who are investors. Now, again, schools and universities and graduate schools, overall, they will prepare you to be employed or self-employed. Now, it depends on what your goal is. For those of you who you want to work for a corporation, perhaps you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a teacher, right? Yes, those quadrants is where you want to be. You want to be an employee. Totally get it. But for those of you who are seeking after something greater, perhaps you want financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. Perhaps you don't want to work a job all of your life. Perhaps you want to learn how to make money while you sleep so you don't have to work until you die. Well, you might want to look into learning about the B quadrant, which stands for being a business owner, and the I quadrant that stands for being an investor. You see, as an investor, you have actually those dollars working hard for you. You're putting those dollars to work. With the B quadrant, you're leveraging the efforts of other people. I'm going to suggest for those of you who, thinking about this financial education and school education, both of them are good, but both of them serve different purposes. So I can't say one is better than the other. It depends on what your end goal is. If you want to continue to work until you pass on, continue to be employed or self-employed. If you want to be in position where you want to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, however way you want to do it, without financial restraint or without time restraint, then you want to learn how to be a business owner and or an investor. All right? And a part of being in the B quadrant or the I quadrant, it's important that you receive financial education. And you become educated about money. You become educated about building wealth. Now, I was alluding to that at the beginning of this episode while I was sharing how this concept of money has changed. You see, back in the day, you used to be able to work a job, right? Our parents and grandparents used to be able to work a job and possibly retire off of it. But let me tell you, times have changed now, where when you think that you're going to quote unquote retire at the age of 60 or 65, you find out when you get to that quote unquote retirement age that you might have to go back to work again. So for those of you who, you're thinking, well, I might be able to retire at the age of 60, 65. If you don't have at least about $1 million at the very least, available for yourself, you are going to have to get another job at the age of 65 or keep working. If you want to change the outlook and you want to be able to truly do what you want to do, you have to open up a business for yourself. All right? There's no such thing, in my perspective, about quote unquote retirement. Retirement is not an age. It's really the amount of money you have to be able to live on without having to go and work a job. That's what true retirement is. It's not an age. So here is what I'm going to encourage you to do. If you want financial freedom, seek after getting financial education. And I'm so happy to tell you that you can access financial education. You can learn how to put together a business, a global business from the comfort of your home. You can learn how to have dollars working hard for you under one umbrella and one system. There is a money system that my husband and I learned about 3.5 years ago. We plugged into it. And we're so glad that we did, because it's because of this system that we became millionaires by choice. It was a simple decision. We wanted to do what the wealthy do, not what the wealthy tell you to do. It's two different things. The wealthy will tell you, go save your money in the bank. The wealthy people are not doing that. They're actually exchanging those dollars, that is really debt. They're exchanging those for gold, which is a tier 1 asset. You see, they're saving in assets while they're telling you to go put those dollars in the bank, and it's just going to make you poorer by doing that. So I'm going to encourage you to do this. Again, you want to build wealth? You want passive income? You need to do what they're doing, and they are saving in assets like gold. They're getting physical gold, and that's what you need to be acquiring for yourself. And it's really simple to be able to access. It's simple to get wealth education. So for those of you who are listening in tonight, or you're catching the replay of this, I'm going to invite you to inbox me or the person that may have shared this with you. Education about money, about wealth building is free, and it's available to you. All you have to do is ask. The Bible says it. Ask and you shall receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. That sounds like persistence to me. It sounds like you need to be intentional about some things. And if you want to build wealth, you have to ask. It's readily available to you. So, again, my testimony is this. I received wealth education about 3.5 years ago. And now my 3-year-old and my 7-year-old will never need to work a job ever. Ever. They will never need to fill out a job application. Simply because I, their mother, and their father, we became educated about money. And you can receive the same education. And you can receive that education for free. You simply need to ask. And so I just want to say thank you so very much for everyone who's tuned in to this particular episode on tonight. Again, look at this quote. It's powerful. What you learned about money is why you don't have it right now, and why you may be hustling for it. Okay? If it's printed, it's not money. Money should be weighed. And that's what gold is. Gold, G-O-L-D, is weighed. Therefore, even as the Bible shares, gold is money. It's God's money. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. I look forward to speaking with those of you who are going to send that message out and inquire about wealth education or financial education. And so we're going to come back tomorrow night around 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time just to go over some good content about building wealth. So until the next time that you and I come together again, I do encourage you to think, to speak, and to live leadership. Good night, and God bless.